Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of the movie Transformers Age of Extinction, Michael Bay's latest attempt at the Transformers live action franchise. Now, I did not like this movie. I'll get right into it and I'll say it. This movie was a letdown. And that's not to say that I didn't have any hopes or expectations at all towards it, because the past three movies were not that good. I didn't like them. I know a lot of people didn't like them. No surprise there. I did like the first one, like the third one. Second one was garbage. This one's, just above the second one as far as quality goes. But I digress. Now, this movie, it's very, very long for what it needs to be. It could have easily been a 2 hour and 10-minute movie. It has an extra 45 minutes on it. It's almost 3 hours long. And Michael Bay just does not care what he does with those 3 hours, because he has the budget to do whatever he wants at this point. And you see these Michael Bay-isms, if you will, that just show up in this movie that you've come to expect from him at this point. You have these low-angle shots, you have these pans of sunsets that mean nothing to anybody or the plot or anything. You have, horrendous dialogue and stories, and the story goes nowhere in this movie. And it's really unfortunate, because you think 4 movies into this series, Michael Bay might actually learn something. He might, know now what fans want to see. But no, he just takes it upon himself to make the crappiest movie he could possibly make, as long as it has his, style of directing this movie. And unfortunately, what we get is something we've seen in Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen, the first Transformers movie. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed about this movie is that there's a completely different human cast. Yeah, the human cast, the one nobody wants to see in these movies. All we really want to see are the Autobots versus the Decepticons. No, we need to see Mark Wahlberg, because Shia LaBeouf has quit acting all of a sudden. Look it up if you haven't heard about it. But anyway, this movie, it's a big waste of time. You can go without seeing it. Pick another movie. There are tons playing that are a lot better than this one, that may not look as appealing as Transformers, but in the long run, they're worth your time, worth your money. Transformers isn't any of those things. But there are a few good things about this movie. I will admit, I enjoyed some qualities of this movie. Unfortunately, the negatives outweigh the positives in such a way that makes me, quite frankly, disgusted and unenthusiastic to see Transformers 5 whenever that's set to come out. But we already know it's coming, so brace yourselves, folks. But as far as negatives go, my biggest peeve is the story. We, as Transformers fans, if you're a Transformers fan and you're watching this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. The Transformers are a very robot, science, mechanism-based franchise that doesn't involve a lot of the human side of things that we're getting in these movies. We want to see, the Transformers changing rapidly into their vehicles, and we want to see Dinobots that were promised in this movie, and we want to see the other stories that the Transformers have fighting each other, rather than having Mark Wahlberg as the face front and center of this movie. We don't need him. We don't need any of the human casts. We could have them. They could be in the very corner of the movie and be, a little subplot, but we don't need to see 2.5 hours of Mark Wahlberg and his, the rest of the cast, and then 25 minutes of Optimus Prime fighting Lockdown or Galvatron or any of these disposable, unnecessary Transformer characters that we end up seeing. But some of them are actually good. I did like John Goodman's character. I did like Ken Watanabe's character. They voice some of the a couple of the Autobots. Hound and Drift, I think they are. And they're actually really enjoyable. The banter that John Goodman and Ken Watanabe's characters have, it's actually pretty funny. It provided a little bit of comic relief that just, took you out of the movie, and at some points you wanted to be taken out of this movie, and that was a good thing. I really liked their characters. I know a lot of people felt that, They could have gotten any voice actors to play these characters, but I did think John Goodman and Kent Watanabe, as far as my personal opinion is concerned, I thought they fit well and they provided a good edge to this movie. As far as the human cast goes, just terrible. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, yes, I will admit he is a better, much better replacement for Shia LaBeouf. Instead of running away, straight up running from the Autobots and all the action that's going on like Shia LaBeouf did the past 3 movies, we actually see Mark Wahlberg pick up an alien gun and start shooting everything. You know, you do. It's nice to see an actual action star in these movies rather than, you know, this teenage or 20 or 30, however old Shia LaBeouf is now, kid who's just running around, you know, just not doing anything at all and not contributing to anything. It's nice to see Mark Wahlberg. I'm a Mark Wahlberg fan. I love his movies. He's a great actor. He's become a great actor. Completely wasted in this movie, and I'm sure he just did it for the paycheck. And I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't blame him. Now, the other actors in this movie are actually really profound and good actors. Kelsey Grammer, Stanley Tucci. Again, they're all wasted on, you know, pointless character roles and horrendous dialogue that will make you cringe and ultimately laugh at throughout the entire movie. You know, you have some lines that are muttered between characters, such as, there's one line in particular towards the beginning of the movie where Kelsey Grammer is talking to Lockdown, and he says, "We have a saying here on Earth, the enemy of my enemy is my friend." And I'm pretty sure Lockdown says, "We also have a saying, ... I don't care." It's literally that bad. There's another line where Mark Wahlberg's home is being invaded by the Black Ops team because they're looking for Optimus Prime, who stowed himself away in Mark Wahlberg's shed. And Mark Wahlberg, they're storming his lawn, and Mark Wahlberg says, "Hey, you don't have a warrant." And the Black Ops leader says, "My face is my warrant." I'm speechless. My friends and I were laughing throughout this entire movie just because parts of it were horrible. It's very misleading. You know, it took about 3 years between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction now, and we thought maybe some qualities could be enhanced from the past 3 movies. Maybe we could get the Transformers movie we've been actually waiting for. This doesn't happen, folks. It's too bad, but we just don't. And, you know, there's some qualities of this movie that give a little glimmer of hope into maybe we can see an actual decent Transformers 5 or 6. Maybe it'll even take till 7, but someday maybe we'll get a good Transformers movie. This is not the time. I gotta say, the number one problem I had with this movie, you know, aside from the dialogue, which I mentioned earlier, is the Dinobots. So advertisement heavy were these Dinobots. Grimlock, all the other ones. They looked and sounded like they were going to be amazing. We saw them in the trailers. Optimus Prime was riding Grimlock into battle. We see that for 5, maybe 10 minutes at the very end of the movie, and that's it. There's no Dinobots in the first 2 hours and 30 minutes of this movie, folks, so just don't hold your breath for them, okay? Just don't. You're not going to see them. Yeah, so this movie, just, if you really are a fan of Transformers, go see it. Just go see it, get it over with, you know, post your opinion, and, you know, hopefully just wait for Transformers 5 if you still have the nerve and, you know, if you're still eager to see what Michael Bay may or may not do in the future, fine, that's fine. Go see Transformers 4. But there are other movies available that I would rather recommend than seeing Transformers. Go see Snowpiercer. Go see The Rover. Go see Chef. Go see How to Drain Your Dragon 2. Go see 22 Jump Street. Go see X-Men Days of Future Past. There are so many good movies out this summer and right now that you can just skip Transformers and forget it ever existed. It's the Age of Extinction, folks, and hopefully it could be near the Age of Extinction for Michael Bay, because we really do not need him around anymore. Get Jon Favreau to make a Transformers movie. Get James Cameron to make one. But honestly, folks, this movie did not do anything for me. And it's pretty upsetting that we have to wait this long, almost a decade, to get a decent Transformers movie. And as a fan of the franchise, I just have to say I've been let down too many times. So unfortunately, I'm going to give Transformers Age of Extinction a mere 2 out of 5. That's my review of Transformers Age of Extinction. You can check out my written review in the description for this video below, and check out all other movie news and reviews on my website, realfreak.wordpress.com. Until next time, my name's Josh Sazen. Bye-bye.